baker, Haley, and today we're making cream puffs, also known as pate choux. It's a very simple recipe, it's versatile, you can do sweet and savory, and today we're going to be doing a sweet cream puff, and you can really wow people with this very simple recipe. So, to start, Haley's going to explain how it gets put together, and then we're going to cook it and put it on the mixer, and we'll pipe it and bake it.
Yep, so here we have a pot. This is going to go over the stove. So we have our butter, sugar, salt, and milk in there. That's going to come to a boil, and then we add our flour. That's going to give it the strength and the structure of the batter. And then when it goes in the mixer, we'll add our eggs, and that makes it nice and glossy. Alright, so now our pot is coming to a boil. So this is when you're going to want to add all of your flour all at once. So you want to shut your stove off, taking it off the heat, adding in all the flour, and then I like to use a wooden spoon. I find that this grabs the dough a lot easier. And you just want to stir it around. And then you'll see it start to come together, and it'll start to form a ball, pulling away from the sides. That's what you're looking for. You just want it to all come together. Make sure all the flour gets incorporated. And this is what you're wanting to see, so you can see it pulling away from the sides. It's not really sticking. And now we are going to move it into our mixer. Alright, so we just took our mixture off the stove, and here we have our KitchenAid mixer, and it is fitted with a paddle attachment. That is how we are going to mix our dough. So we're just going to want to pour it in while it's still piping hot. Put it all in there. And then you're going to want to turn on your mixer to about a medium speed, I'd say about 5 or 6. And this just cools it off so that we're not cooking our eggs completely. Alright, so now our choux, or our dough, has been cooling for about a minute. You just want to make sure that the bowl isn't too hot. And then, I just like to turn it down to about speed 2 to 3. And then we're just going to add our eggs one at a time until each is incorporated fully. And what you'll be looking for is a nice, wet, sticky texture. Bump your heat up 1 or 2 more just to get it fully incorporated. Alright, so now our batter is done mixing. So you'll be looking for it to be very glossy and a yellow color. And how you'll know when it is properly mixed is when you pick up the paddle, it'll make a V. So you want the batter not to be loose where it's dripping, but you just want it to hold the V. That's when you know it is ready. So once the batter is mixed, you just want to put it into a pastry bag. If you do not have a pastry bag with a tip, what you can do is you can just use a Ziploc bag and cut one of the corners off. So how we will be piping these is I have a sheet tray ready with a piece of parchment, and if you're looking for parchment, we actually sell it here at the bakery, so you can come on down and get some parchment. On the other side, I have already drawn some circles. This is how we're going to get our nice shape for our cream puffs. To achieve these circles, I had a circle cutter. If you do not have a circle cutter, you can use a small glass and trace that if you have one of those. And just always make sure that you are flipping it over so that you're not eating any lead. Alright, so now I am just going to fill in each of the circles with some tricks on how to pipe our cream puffs is you want to hold your bag 90 degrees. You want to be away from the parchment a little bit. You're squeezing, stopping, and then I like to do a little rotation of the wrist, and that way you don't get a hat on top of your cream puff. Another trick that I have to achieve the perfect cream puff is you want to take a small bowl of just some cold water and your finger. So you're just going to wet your finger a little bit and go over the tops of the cream puff. This way, if you had some trouble piping, they'll all be very even. And the water makes it not stick to your finger. So now our cream puffs are ready to go into the oven. So if your oven at home is not convection, you'll want it to be at 350 degrees. If you do have a convection oven, you'll want to bake it at 325 degrees. They'll bake for about 15 to 20 minutes until they're light and golden brown, and where you can peel them off the parchment without them sticking. That's when they're ready. So now our cream puffs are out of the oven. These should look like this, nice and puffed up, very light, and just a little bit of color on top, not too much. For a savory option, you can also make a gougere. So that has Gruyere cheese in it mixed into the batter. We sell these here at the bakery. But these today are going to be sweet. So for a filling option, which is very easy to do, I have some whipped cream. All you need is some heavy whipping cream and some powdered sugar. Put that in your KitchenAid, whip it on high until it's nice and fluffy. For a glaze on top, I have some chocolate ganache here. This is also very simple to do. All you need to do is heat some cream up on the stove and then pour it over a bowl of chocolate and mix that in. So now we're going to fill our cream puffs. So all you need is a small paring knife. And what we're going to do is we're going to flip over each of our cream puffs and just poke, making a small incision to put our whipped cream in the center. Then you're going to take your pastry bag with a small tip, or if you don't have a pastry bag, you can just use a Ziploc bag and cut off one of the ends. You're going to insert it into the cream puff and just keep squeezing until it starts to come out, and you'll feel it'll be a lot heavier. You can just wipe that off, and now your cream puff is nice and filled. Then, to do the glaze, just take your bowl and dip it in. Let the excess drip off, and there is your cream puff. And when you cut into your cream puff, you will see that it is nice and filled. You'll also see all of those beautiful air pockets. That's how you know you have the perfect cream puff.